What happens when a young boy spends his entire life running from fear? What happens when years of rejection convince someone that they are weak? And what happens when the very thing you believe will protect you becomes the same thing that destroys your future? The little boy sat alone at the back of the classroom. His head was lowered. His hands trembled slightly. The laughter around him was not the laughter of friendship. It was the laughter of people who had chosen him as their target. Every day they mocked him. Every day they isolated him. Every day they made him feel smaller than he already was. But hidden inside that quiet and frightened boy was a future nobody could see. Not even him. Because sometimes, the greatest battles are not fought against other people. Sometimes, the greatest battle is the one inside your own mind. Before we continue this emotional and inspiring story, kindly like, share, comment, and subscribe to Elvis the Great Stories for more powerful African stories filled with life lessons, suspense, inspiration, hope, and unforgettable journeys. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another amazing story. In a small town in Nigeria lived a young boy named Michael Okafor. Michael came from a poor family. His father had died when he was very young. His mother worked tirelessly every day just to provide food and pay school fees. Michael was a very small and slim boy. He was also extremely quiet. He rarely spoke. He rarely made friends. Most of the time, he preferred sitting alone. Unfortunately, many children misunderstood his quiet nature. They called him strange. They called him weak. They called him names that wounded his heart. Even though Michael was one of the smartest students in class, nobody knew. Whenever teachers asked questions, Michael already knew the answers. But he was too afraid to raise his hand. Too afraid to be noticed. Too afraid to make mistakes. So he remained silent. And because he remained silent, people assumed he was not intelligent. Year after year, the bullying continued. Primary school ended. Then secondary school began. But nothing changed. The same fear. The same loneliness. The same pain. Michael carried his wounds silently. After secondary school, Michael's mother smiled proudly. "My son, it is time for university." But instead of excitement, fear filled Michael's heart. University. A larger school. More students. More humiliation. More rejection. He could not bear the thought. For an entire year, he refused to apply. His mother became worried. "Michael, what are you afraid of?" But Michael could never explain the pain he carried inside. Then one day, he began hearing stories about certain groups on university campuses. People described them as powerful, fearless, respected, untouchable. Michael listened carefully. For the first time in his life, he believed he had found an answer. If I become strong, he thought, nobody will ever bully me again. Soon afterward, he agreed to attend university. His mother was overjoyed. She thanked God. Michael wrote his entrance examinations and gained admission. But unfortunately, he entered university carrying the wrong solution to the right problem. The first week on campus reminded Michael of his painful childhood. Some students mocked him. Others tried to intimidate him. Old wounds reopened immediately. Then a group of aggressive students approached him. They promised friendship, protection, respect, power. Everything Michael believed he needed. Without thinking deeply, he accepted their offer. Slowly, Michael began changing. The quiet boy disappeared. A different person emerged. A person hiding behind fear. A person trying to impress others. A person desperate to prove he was no longer weak. People who once mocked him now avoided him. Students feared him because he has now become a violent and notorious cultist, and he was now involved in several criminal cases and cult activities in the campus. His confidence appeared stronger. But inside, The fear remained. Because true confidence cannot come from other people. It must come from within. Michael did not understand that yet. As time passed, Michael stopped focusing on his education. His books gathered dust. His dreams faded. His future became less important. He spent more time chasing popularity and approval. The intelligent young man who once dreamed of success was slowly losing himself. Then one terrible day, a serious incident occurred on campus involving Michael and another student. The situation escalated beyond control and he shot a fellow student dead in the school campus. University authorities launched an investigation. Soon afterward, Michael was expelled. Everything collapsed. His dreams, his plans, his future. Gone. At least that was what he thought. When he returned home, his heart was broken. His mother welcomed him warmly. But Michael could not bring himself to tell her the truth. He simply said school was on break. Yet every night, guilt tortured him. Every night, he replayed his decisions. Every night, he asked himself, how did I end up here? Months passed. Then one day, Michael sat alone and reflected on his entire life. Suddenly, a painful truth became clear. The people who bullied him had never truly controlled his future. His fear had. His low self-esteem had. His lack of self-belief had. The protection he desperately sought from others had only distracted him from discovering his own strength. For the first time, Michael looked into a mirror and said, I am enough. Simple words. But they changed everything. That day, he decided to rebuild his life. No excuses. No blame. No self-pity. Only growth. Only purpose. Only determination. Years later, an opportunity appeared. Michael applied for a program in the United States. After many challenges and setbacks, he was accepted and he joined the U.S. Army. His journey began again. This time, he carried wisdom instead of fear. Discipline instead of insecurity. Confidence instead of doubt. Michael worked harder than ever before. He trained relentlessly. Learned continuously. Improved himself every day. His dedication earned him respect. His leadership earned him promotions. His courage earned him opportunities. The same boy who once feared raising his hand in class was now leading others with confidence. Life had finally begun rewarding his persistence. Many years later, Michael retired as a general in the U.S. Army after an extraordinary career. He had built businesses. Made wise investments. Created opportunities for others. Built a loving family. Raised a son and a daughter. And most importantly, he found peace. When he finally returned to Nigeria as a successful billionaire businessman, people could hardly believe it. The frightened boy they once knew was gone. Standing before them was a man shaped by wisdom, resilience, and growth. His greatest joy was seeing his elderly mother again. The woman who never stopped believing in him. The woman who prayed for him during his darkest moments. One evening, Michael finally told her everything. The bullying. The mistakes. The pain. The regret. The lessons. His mother listened quietly. When he finished speaking, tears filled her eyes. Then she smiled. My son, I was never proud of your mistakes. But I am proud that you learned from them. Michael broke down emotionally. For the first time in decades. He felt completely free. Years later, Michael often spoke to young people about confidence and self-worth. Whenever someone asked him the secret behind his success, he always gave the same answer. Never allow fear to decide who you become. The audience would become silent. Then he would continue. The moment you believe in yourself, your life begins to change. He looked at his children sitting nearby. Then he smiled. And finally, He asked. How many dreams have been destroyed by fear? How many talented young people are still hiding because they are afraid of what others will say? How many lives could change today if people simply believed in themselves? And tell me, if you stop doubting yourself right now, how different would your future become?